Ash versus Leon, Ash's biggest battle in history, the battle that defined his career and crowned him world champion. But should Ash have actually won this battle, or should Leon have kept his unbeaten crown? Let's find out. So Ash is heading into this battle with his full Journeys team. We all know they weren't really treated great and didn't have enough screen time to justify how strong they got, but canonically this team is pretty powerful, so you just kind of have to accept that it is what it is. But before this battle even starts, Leon makes a big change in the rules. Up until now in the Masters 8 you can only use one gimmick, Mega Evolution, Dynamax or Z moves. You're only allowed to use one of these per battle, but I think as Ash has just really been the only trainer using all of them, mixing it up and impressing everyone, especially with the Z moves, Leon makes the bold choice to allow Ash to use all three, and this is the first major red flag in this battle. At this point we already know Pikachu's Z move is basically a one-shot cheat code, so allowing Ash to use all three massively gives him an advantage here. But in terms of just character writing, this makes total sense for Leon to suggest this. He loves the thrill of the battle, he loves Pokemon going all out, so it makes sense that he would ask for this. But this rule change does affect the battle a lot going forward. Even from the offset we have Inteleon taking on Ash's Gengar, and Leon has clear control here with Inteleon dominating the field, Leon even using Aqua Jet to create his own counter shield, something he picked up from Ash himself, and something that Ash developed and mastered all the way back in Sinnoh. It shows how innovative Leon can be, and it was just really cool to see this brought back in Journeys. But thanks to Leon allowing the gimmicks, Ash doesn't have to hold back. He unleashes his Gigantamax Gengar, which pretty much turns the whole tide of the battlefield and the battle, with Gengar taking down Inteleon. Without G-Max, I think Inteleon probably wins this battle. Leon's Mr. Rime definitely caused an issue for Ash, with him completely dominating the field with Freeze Dry and Psychic Terrain. Everyone thought Ash was crazy when he brought in Surf Edge, a fighting type, but Ash had a great plan. He knew that his Fury Cutter would help him cut straight through the battlefield, so with some out of the box thinking, as Ash usually does, he takes a bit of control back here, and this leads to an awesome passing of the torch to Lucario, where we see Ash use his second gimmick, Mega Evolution. Obviously this increases Lucario's power a lot, but I don't think in this specific instance it would have made much of a difference. Lucario uses his aura to track Mr. Rime's swift movements and manages to take it down. I do think even in its base form, a fresh Lucario could have probably won this battle anyway. Leon brings out his Dragapult, and this Pokemon completely controls the pace of the battle. It does heavy damage to 3 members of Ash's team, Lucario, Dracovish and Dragonite, using its Dragon Tail to just swap them around and toy with Ash. Leon showing his experience here, as Ash's team is really starting to get dwindled down, and in the end Lucario does get beaten by Dragapult. So overall I think Ash Mega Evolving obviously helped him in the long run, letting him get a few more hits in on Dragapult, but I think the same result would have happened if Ash didn't Mega Evolve Lucario. I'd say the addition of this gimmick was probably the one that had the least effect overall in the battle. Dragapult does eventually go down to Ash's Dragonite with some great moves and combos. Dragonite was definitely the perfect choice to land the final blow on Dragapult, being such a strong brawler and having great endurance. So Ash is the first to take down 3 of Leon's Pokemon, but as Leon even points out himself, Ash's team is already exhausted, while Leon has 3 fresh Pokemon ready to go, including a crazy strong Rillaboom and the one and only Charizard. And just to think how tougher it could have been without the use of them 2 gimmicks already. Leon could possibly still have Inteleon in the mix, so the extra gimmicks are definitely helping Ash a lot. And he's not even that far ahead, he's only just keeping pace with Leon. So as predicted, Leon takes full control here, Rillaboom being basically a second ace for him, taking down both Ash's Dragonite and Surf Edge. It sustains some damage and we get a cool surfboard move from Surf Edge, but this part of the battle really felt like Leon was cleaning up the remaining leftovers, leaving Ash with just Pikachu and Dracovish, while Leon still has Charizard and a barely touched Cinderace. Honestly, from this exact point, it's hard to see how Ash would win this. Rillaboom does eventually fall to Dracovish, and it makes sense in the context of it being worn down, and Dracovish is still fairly fresh, with it using all the training from Clement and Bonnie, along with its new crazy spiky things. So I think this was a pretty solid win for Dracovish, and well deserved. But the battle definitely takes a turn after this. Cinderace of course takes down Dracovish, which was expected, leaving Ash with just Pikachu. But the strange thing Leon does now is swap out Cinderace for Charizard. Leon is basically saying, let's do this right now. Let's have this final clash that everyone wants. Pikachu versus Charizard, with Leon Gigantamaxing Charizard and Ash using his iconic 1 million volt Thunderbolt, the climactic final clash. But not really, because we all know Cinderace is still waiting. So I think the writers wanted to do something different. Ash won against Tapu Koko in Alola with this move. They didn't want to just repeat it, so I respect them for that. The two clash and it's like two titans ripping the sky itself, with Z moves and a Gigantamax colliding. The whole damn Galar region gets thrown into chaos again, with Eternatus appearing, which really wasn't on my bingo card when I first watched this, but it just shows how strong these two Pokemon are, with both of them managing to withstand this assault. So the main reason for Eternatus showing up was to give these two another Dynamax charge on their wristbands, one more Gigantamax clash. So not only was Ash gifted the use of all three gimmicks, he's been given an extra one now by Eternatus. And yes, we know Leon is getting that one as well, but this is still crazy how much help Ash got in this battle. And it does feel like this specific moment and clash was the one where Ash could have lost. Pikachu with no gimmicks going up against a very strong Charizard and then a fresh Cinderace. I'm not sure he wins that. Even the writers had to work around this next battle because G-Max Pikachu somehow defeats G-Max Cinderace, despite only having used this form twice before. We all thought maybe Pikachu would train up using his G-Max, but he never did, so it was very strange to give him this battle and this win here at the end. I guess they also just wanted to show off that cool G-Max Cinderace form. But at this point, Pikachu has now taken 2 direct G-Max attacks from both Charizard and Cinderace, and he's still standing. I know Pikachu is a godlike Pokemon at this point, there's no denying that, but Ash was massively helped out here by the gimmicks and the writing. But from this point on, I can't complain about this section of the battle. This is one of the best episodes and clashes in Pokemon history. Pikachu and Charizard going up against each other in their base forms, really how it should have been to end things off. Natural power and ability will prevail. Pikachu is absolutely wrecked, he's taken so much damage, but we get some of the best battle animation, the fastest quick attack anyone has ever seen, the Pokemon climbing on top of the stadium, just all out relentless attacks, until finally Pikachu breaks, all the damage is added up and he falls into darkness, only to be woken up by his old Pokemon pals. A beautiful scene, Pikachu awakens, the original theme song plays, Ash flips the hat, and they clash one last time. Absolute peak. I can't say I'm a big fan of it cutting away and showing Pikachu waking up, but I guess this just shows that Pikachu was that locked in and that exhausted that he probably doesn't even remember that final clash. Seeing Ash catch Pikachu after he falls is just perfection. But there you have it, obviously Ash wins this battle. Pikachu just had enough to overcome Charizard. It was literally on its last legs, but he won. And in conclusion, I do think Ash would have simply lost this battle if it wasn't for the extra gimmicks. A massive early advantage getting rid of Inteleon with G-Max Gengar, and then the final extra G-Max to get rid of Cinderace helped even more. The last portion of this battle was handled strangely. I do think they could have rearranged a few things around to make it flow better, but ultimately I think Ash was destined to win this battle. It was his time, his moment, and Leon giving Ash the extra gimmicks might have led to a big advantage, but Ash still took his chance. You have to say he deserved to win, and we're all glad that he got such an incredible moment. But there's definitely moments in this battle where you feel things could have been a lot different.